What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 33. We're starting today's up stuff on the back of the 4-3 victory over Leeds. Man, every time we face Leeds, it is an absolute cracker. Once again, really good fixture there in a big topsy-turvy win. And heading into the first game of today's episode, match day 6 of the Europa League group stage. Djurgårdens at home, heading into this game at Goodison Park against the Scandinavian side. We knew that just a point would guarantee qualification, a win would guarantee top spot. Such a tight group, man. You know, all 4 teams on the final group game could either go through or be knocked out. Such a tight group, but it was exactly what I was expecting, really. You know, I said when the group was drawn, like, you know, no doubt about it, we're favourites to go through, but it's still going to be like super tight. This is not going to be a walk in the park, and it certainly hasn't been. But heading into the game, I wanted the job done comfortably with no fear. Heading into the second half, I might need a goal or two. Callum Hudson-Odoi gives us a really early lead. Second goal in Europe this season, and it's 24 minutes in. Kefren Turan, you know, I love him. The jack of all trades in this team, drills it in as our French midfielder makes it. So at this point I was thinking, okay, alright, yeah, we are definitely through. And it's exactly what I wanted from the opening stages tonight. 38 minutes in though, after I'd surrendered possession with Tosin Adarabioyo, the Swedes got one chance in the first half and they took it. Half the deficit right before the break, and I was like, okay. Now we're still sitting kind of pretty. They'd need to come from 2 goals down to win it 3-2 in order to go out, but I still wanted to make sure there was zero chance of that happening. So in the second half, heading in to the restart, Tom Davies off the bench makes it 3-1, restores our 2-goal cushion. And after I got that goal, it was kind of like that kind of, the knockout blow, do you know what I mean? That kind of, the sucker punch. It takes the wind out of your sails. You see it a lot in team sport, when a team is gradually coming back into a game and then bang, there's a goal or a touchdown or a try or whatever sport you're talking about here. You know, there's that one moment that just kills the contest off. That was the goal that Tom Davies scored. DCL then made it 4, and then the guy that came on to replace him scored potentially his final goal for the club. Dele Alli makes it 5-1 Toffees, and I love this celebration coming all the way to me to celebrate, because he knows his time is coming to an end. He's requested a transfer, but we'll always be grateful for the year last season, getting us to the EFL Cup Final. So we're through, 5-1 victory on the final group game. You see the full groups here in the Europa League. We are going through alongside VfB Stuttgart. Such a tight group though, you know, really tight. In the end, we did get a 4-point separation on the Germans, but even so, that was a much tighter group than it may have looked at match day 6. For the most part, all the way up until, what I would say, the conclusion of match day 5, there was a very strong possibility we were going out, but in the end we are through, and through as group winners as well. So following game, heading into this one away, Hawthorns taking on West Bromwich Albion, taking on the Boing Baggies here, newly promoted side, away from home. Heading into the game, looking for a fast start to extend our winning run. Great save catching at 0-0, but right from the very first whistle in this game, in attack mode, looking for that early breakthrough. And after Anthony Robinson found Romelu Lukaku, a little bit lucky, but we'll take it. Goes through 1-on with Palmer, puts him on the floor, and you just knew it was going to happen. Romelu Lukaku spent just 1 year at the Hawthorns, but West Brom fans will tell you, oh, he had a great year. He had a really good year there. And I've talked about it, I've said before, like, you know, for all the places that Romelu Lukaku has been, to me, I think Everton's the only place where he's really felt at home, if you will. But listen, I mean, we are really playing devil's advocate here. But had West Brom had the funds, had Chelsea been willing to sell at that point, because obviously he went to Everton on loan the following year, you know, had they had the capability to go forward, who knows what could have happened, man, seriously, because Lukaku had a brilliant year there, but even so, he made it 1-0, we went 2-0 up in the second half, whilst I did give away one of the cheapest goals you'd ever see here. West Brom got back in the game, half the deficit, just like Djurgårdens did on Thursday night. Don't ask me what I was doing with Nathan Patterson. I'd love to blame it on the fever. I think I was just being an idiot. I don't know what on earth I was doing there, but even so, That made it 2-1. West Brom back in the game, but late on, aiming to restore our 2-goal cushion, we will get it. Since Conor Gallagher's come back from the broken toe, obviously he's kind of had to share the game time a little bit with Keffer and Thuram and Gallagher as well, but Amadou Onana, man, seriously, you know, ever since I arrived here at Goodison, I knew this guy was going to stay with me for the long term. I still love him. He's not developed quite exactly as quickly as I was hoping. Part of that is because of the position change, and part of that is because, you know, he's had the injuries, but he's still a big game player for me, man, seriously. Third goal there, wraps the points up, and I'll extend our winning run. So, following the game, following the win, I did decide to put an end to this speculation here. Now, we know that Dele Alli is almost definitely going to leave, but this guy is going to stay. In the final year of his contract, with the January transfer window about to open in 2 weeks, Conor Coady, at 31 years old, was re-signed on a free transfer at the start of last season, and I've decided to keep him as well. I decided to give him an extra 1 year, so he's now got 18 months left in this deal instead of 6. That means he can't be poached away on a free transfer in January to another club. And what I want to do with Coady is keep him here until he retires. Matt Doherty's going to retire come the end of the season, and that's kind of what I want to happen with Conor Coady as well. He'll stay for another year, but at the start of next season, so Gaffer, appreciate an extra 12 months, but I'm ready to call it a day come the end of the season. That's what I want. I know it sounds a bit horrible, but I kind of wish you could, like, I don't know the nicest way to say this, but, like, maybe ask your players if they would consider retirement at times, because I don't want Conor Coady for another year after that. Like, he's 31 years old, soon to be 32. He's a good squad player, but, you know, at some point, I kind of just want to look at him in the dressing room and be like, so, how are those knees holding up, mate? Like, you think you can do another year? No? Well, that's a shame, but, you know, don't reconsider. Like, call it a day come the end of the year, you know. Because players will sometimes, like, reconsider retirement, but they very rarely will, like, decide to retire at the end of the season had they not announced it at the start of the season. In fact, I don't think it's possible. I know sometimes players will reconsider retirement if they get enough game time in their final year, but I don't think they will ever reconsider staying on if they've got an extra year in their contract and hadn't decided to retire. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. But Coady gets an extra 12 months anyway. Definitely not 12 years, Connor. No way. But an extra 12 months, Coady. I like him. If you're a squad player, decent, you know, tons of experience. I like him. I like him a lot. So he'll be staying for another 12 months. And hopefully that Mac Doherty, he'll retire come the end of the year. But anyway, following that, we beat Sheffield United 2-0. So another big win there. DCL breaks his goal drought with just, I think, his second goal in the Premier League this season against his former team. Man, this guy always scores against his former club. Calvert-Lewin wraps the points up. 3 points, 2-0 win, and another win in a really nice little streak. And then following that, well, if you read the title, this was the moment you were waiting for. Unai Emery says, Doxy boy, I'm in a bit of trouble right now up top. I said, can I interest ya in Dele Alli, who wants to leave? He was like, oh, go on then. Dele Alli, it is time to say goodbye. And we knew it was going to happen. And I said, I'll do everything I can to get into a realist destination. I wasn't going to sell him somewhere which to me didn't make sense. He wasn't going to rock up at Liverpool. I don't see him going back to Spurs. You know, I wanted to get him somewhere realistic, and to me, I said a mid-table Premier League side would be ideal. The likes of, again, you know, I think a Crystal Palace would be absolutely perfect, or a West Ham. Unfortunately, those bids didn't come in. But Unai Emery right now, I looked at Villa's squad before I negotiated, and they do have a little bit of a depth issue up top, if you will. So to me, that seemed ideal, especially with their system. He could play a little bit deeper, or he could play as a natural striker like he does for us. It seemed absolutely perfect. So Ali for 15 mil is going to go in January to Aston Villa. We appreciate the service, Dele. We knew he was going to go at some point, and I'm glad I'm going to get him to a reasonably realistic destination. So, final game of today's episode, Manchester United away at Old Trafford, aiming to extend a winning run. We're heading into this game against Erik Ten Hag, so I'm not really feeling too confident. First goal, super unlucky. A deflection of a shot, ricocheted, eventually back to Scott McTominay, who gets the opening goal. Second goal, completely my fault. Second game in this episode where I've given the ball away with Nathan Patterson. He's a good right back. I just don't know how to use him. Yeah, really poor with me there, trying to play out on the back with Pickford and Patterson, gave the ball away, cheap goal, McTominay gets his brace. Marcus Thuram would then make it 3-0, and then with 2 minutes on the clock, I mean, can I say I felt a little bit aggrieved to lose this game 4-0? Because, Like, here's the thing, I did get dominated. I always say I present the highlights package completely fairly. I did get dominated, but I think the way the goals were scored were really unfortunate, man. I mean, yes, the second goal was my error, but Scott McTominay's first and third goals in his first professional career hat-trick were rebound goals. And technically, even the second goal he scored was a rebound goal because it deflected off Jordan Pickford. Only the Marcus Thuram goal was a good strike. So I felt a little bit aggrieved by the scoreline, if not the result. Final score 4-0. Manchester United thoroughly deserved a win, no doubt about that. And I'd like to blame it on Ben Godfrey being out, but as I said in the post-match interview, we got to do better than we did today. That was poor from me there, really poor. Yes, okay, 3 of the 4 goals were rebounds, but even so, I got torn apart there. So, yep, Marcus wins the battle of the Thuram brothers. Lillian smiling on in the VIP box at Old Trafford as they took a big 3 points there in the battle for European placage, which is still incredibly tight. We are in the top 4, but we're only 2 points right now off Arsenal in 6th. For that, will end this episode of the Really Scribble, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, drop a like. Most of you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode. The January transfer window will open very soon.